Hello everybody, Tom here. So in this video I would like to talk about the process of pre-production of my second game from 20 games challenge, FlappyBird. Here is how it went. First I did some research. FlappyBird was first released in 2013 and gained popularity in 2014. At the time I was in my first year at university. I remember playing it for 20 minutes, after which I got frustrated and never played again. Though all the news about its commercial success and that developer got scared to be sued by a certain big corporation grabbed my attention back then. The gameplay loop was fairly easy. On the right side of the screen green pipes appeared and the player had to click one button to accelerate his beard avatar up, and after some time it started to go down again. When a player hit a pipe, the game was lost. Okay, so what were my thoughts on what we learned from this story? Don't use assets similar to anything a certain corporation made. The game loop was super easy, so maybe adding one or two extra mechanics wouldn't be a bad idea. If I want to add new mechanics, then the main mechanic, which is player movement, should be less irritating. Now, having those three main aspects written down, I had to figure out what to do. The first thing I decided was to ease up the main mechanic to provide a player more opportunities to use the other two. And how to achieve that? My idea looks like this. The player avatar moves up while the player is holding a button, and at first it moves slowly and accelerates to a certain maximum speed. When a player releases a button, it slowly starts to move down. That can raise another issue. Because I want to have pipes generated with some randomness, it can require a player to go down a little faster. So that will be our first new mechanic. When clicking the second button, the player avatar will gain its maximum speed immediately. Okay, so what can be a second mechanic? What do we usually do in games? We fight. Let's add some kind of fighting mechanic. I don't want to make this game a space impact with irritating movement, so no shooting abilities. Then how to handle this? Maybe we'll provide a player with the ability to only defend himself from moving objects, with another button. Players of course can also avoid those objects, but hey, maybe we can award him in some way when pairing blocking will be successful? Awards. Okay, we have to add some collectibles along the way that player will also get while using his block ability. So it turns out we have 3 new mechanics. No scope creep, by the way. We have our new mechanics. Simple, but I hope it will add some diversity to the gameplay. So now let's think about a setting. I want to keep the animal moving theme so the player will have some FlappyBird connotation immediately. So we need an animal that can move up and down. Ideally, it would do it in some interesting way. No birds allowed, because that would be just a ripoff. Land animals can jump, but that's not exactly the movement mechanic I have in mind. Then let's look at what kind of fish can be good for such mechanic. Pufferfish. With gaining air, it accelerates faster and faster. Then slowly losing air will cause it to go down. And if you want to move down super fast, then let's just lose all the air at once. Okay, if it is a fish, it would probably eat plankton. Great collectible. Does it fight? Probably not, but hey, it's a game, not a document about pufferfish, so we can just add it. Okay, so we have a setting and new mechanics figured out. Let's get to work. It was a great effort to come up with a coherent idea, so to not forget anything from this brainstorm, I decided to write a simple game design document. Of course, I have never done that before, but had an idea where to start. Pirate Software was a part of some controversy, but he also inspired me a little back in the day, and he has a website where he provided a GDD draft. I downloaded it and described everything you heard earlier. The most difficult part here? To come up with a title for the game. If you have a sharp eye, you probably saw on my previous video that I ended up with a inflated pufferfish. If you have a better idea, you can share it in the comment section, which is below the subscribe button. Now, before I made a draft of a task list for this project, I had to figure out what are my goals for this game. How can I know if this game was a success for me? So, of course, my first and main goal is to finish it and learn as much as possible along the way. And this time I want it to be a game. Simple, but a full game. Not only a prototype of a game as a pong I made earlier. To learn even more how the game development looks like in real life, it would be great to have it published. So, second goal. To have it published on itch.io and on Google Play. Yeah, let's be ambitious. Why not? Okay, and when can I know if that was a complete success for me? Simple, if I earn any money from this game. Let's face the truth, it's a FlappyBird on steroids, which probably can be made by a skillful indie developer during the weekend. So, $1. One simple dollar. And I call it a success. Now, having my goals and GDD written, I decided to create a task list to not forget about anything and also to not constantly add new ideas to the game. As you know from the Pong video, back then I used Trello to keep track of all my tasks. It wasn't bad, but I thought that before I commit to one tool in the future, I would try other similar apps. This time I decided to went with ClickUp. First, I created main task categories: graphics, sounds, sound effects, visual effects and particles, main menu, programming, and YouTube. So, my idea is to create a player avatar with 5 animations, 4 obstacle types, 4 enemies types with 2 animations each, a plankton with 2 animations, and a background. Quite a lot of work, especially that I have absolutely zero art skill. How will I approach that? As always, thinking about games I want to make in the future. And because of that, I decided to make pixel art graphics with Blender. I know my future projects will use 3D graphics, so to practice, I will model everything in Blender and then use some shaders for pixelate effect. Maybe with the exception of backgrounds. Those will be done in Sprite. Because I will have to gain a lot of skill in the graphics part, for sounds I think I will try to compose only one piece of music. Let's be real, most mobile game players play without music anyway, so making more would be a waste of time. I think I will use FL Studio for that, but those $100 hurt me a little. If any of you know a free alternative, please share in the comment section just below the subscribe button. For sound effects, I want to make a total of 6 sounds, probably using Audacity. My thoughts are similar as for the music part, but Audacity is free at least. As you probably remember from my previous video, shaders gave me a hard time. No pain, no gain. So I decided that I will try to make a one shader for the distortion effect connected to the bubble particle. I hope it won't be too ambitious. Main menu is just a task with a list of buttons I have to make, probably also in Sprite. In the programming part, I just divided the gameplay mechanics into smaller chunks to make it easy to track. Apart from the main game loop, there are some things I want to add as well. The first one will be adding ads into my game. To not spam them everywhere and irritate players, I think I will just add 2 kinds of ads. One after each X death, not sure about the number, every 5th, 10th, 3rd. You can let me know in the comments how often they should appear to not irritate you. To see a second one, the player would have to click on a button and as a reward can revive himself without losing his progress in the run. That would restart the counter for the first one as well. Because I won't have a lot of text in this game, I think it will be a great time to learn how to localize games. So I would like to add some localization in the main menu in 9 languages: Polish, English, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, French, German, and Italian. And the last thing is to save data between runs. Every eaten plankton should be counted and saved. If the graphics part won't give me a lot of trouble, I would like to introduce some skins for a player to buy. Just to keep playing, no in-app purchases. Of course, for programming I will use Godot and C#. In YouTube tasks I keep ideas for more YouTube videos of course. And that's all I have for you guys in this first devlog. Hope you like it, and if you don't want to miss the next one, subscribe. See you!